Hello and welcome to the Balance Babe podcast. Today I am joined by my friend Carol. Carol and I met when I was on my last trip to San Diego, and she hosted a gorgeous sound bath at her home. And we started talking about holistic health and what she does and how she's gotten into this space. And her story and her journey is fascinating, and I cannot wait to talk to you guys about it. So, Carol, can we just dive right in and tell me a little bit about how your journey started and kind of what you're doing now?
Yeah, yeah. I wear a lot of different hats and I've done a lot of different things, and it's all kind of come full circle. So I was I was raised with like Western medicine being like the end all be all. And along the way in my 30s, I started learning some things about holistic wellness. I got pregnant and I was super freaked out about birth. My sister, my mom, had horrible experiences. My only one friend that had a birth had an emergency C-section. So I was super freaked out. And I knew that there had to be something else to help women besides just the hospital birth class. And so I started watching a TV show called The Baby Story. This was 22 years ago. And it followed a pregnant couple in each episode. And this one episode just blew me away because it was this mom, she's in the hospital, she had Pitocin, and she looked like she was asleep. And I was like, what the heck is this? Because every story I've ever heard of Pitocin, hospital birth, like it increases contractions and the pain and all of that. Then afterwards, when they're interviewing her, she said birth was enjoyable. And I was like, what the hell? Like, I've never heard that ever. And so I immediately just looked up hypnobirthing in my area, signed up for the classes, and was just like, I don't think I can be hypnotized, but like, I'm willing to take this class because if I can get like the teeniest bit of enjoyable, I'm willing to do whatever. Ended up taking the classes, was able to go into hypnosis really easily. Apparently, type A people that think a lot go into hypnosis really, really easily. So I ended up taking the classes and had a 7.5 hour birth. I pushed for 40 minutes. My son came out with like a whole elbow and a hand, and I didn't tear. It was uncomfortable, probably right, because he came out with like all of that, but it was 7.5 hours, 40 minutes of pushing, and he was 8 pounds. And I was like, this is crazy that I did that. But next time when I have my next baby, if I'm lucky enough to have my next baby, I'm going to study. I'm going to listen to the music that you listen to on headphones. That birth, I showed up at the hospital. I had my headphones on. They thought I was asleep. And my husband's like, she's not. Like, I was having regular contractions. We call them surges. And he kind of like insisted, like, can you check her? Like, she's farther than you think.
Yeah.
And then they checked me and they're like, oh my God, she's 9.5 centimeters. And, then they're like, get her in a room, get the doctor, blah, blah, blah. Meanwhile, I'm like cool as a cucumber. Like, I've got my headphones on, I'm just breathing, I'm super relaxed, I'm using all the techniques, and I'm just like marveling in the fact that like, this is totally working. Like, I'm using my mind to control my body, and I totally feel relaxed. I don't feel any pain. Like, I felt some tension. And then, the doctor comes in and she's like, whenever you're ready to push. And I was like, I'm not. So I'm just going to lay here. And then like half an hour went by and I was like, okay, I'm kind of bored. See what we need to do. And then I like pushed 3 gentle pushes, and my second baby slid right out of me, like 8 pounds, something ounces. That birth was 2 hours, completely pain-free. And I actually wished that birth was a little bit longer because it was only like a short period of time where I was like, oh my God, this is actually working. And I would have loved to have like a little bit more time to have enjoyed that. So I have my master's in social work. My goal at that time was to open up a private practice. But when it came time to open up a private practice, I had 2 kids under the age of 3 and no brain cells left to like do effective therapy. So a friend of mine just said like, well, why don't you teach hypnobirthing? Because you had 2 great births. And I was like, this is perfect. I get to do this at night. We don't have to put our kids into daycare. and I get to work with excited, happy couples. So
Mhm.
I taught hypnobirthing for 7.5 years, taught over 600 couples, and became trained in a technique called hypnofertility, which is hypnosis for infertility, and then loved hypnosis so much that I became a hypnotherapist. And then I had a thriving practice and it was going really well. And then Young Living essential oils kind of fell into my lap. So I had been using store bought oils because I thought like there's no difference and this Young
Mhm.
Living thing is a scam and they're only like charging so much for their oils because they want all the profit. So I
Yeah.
had been making my own blends of oils using store bought oils, but they weren't really working. So October 2013, I was like, okay, I'm going to try this scammy thing and get this oil called Thieves from Young Living. Thieves is called thieves oil because back in the day of the bubonic plague, thieves would slather themselves with herbs and spices and they would go and steal from the dying and the dead, but they wouldn't get the plague. And
Mm.
so back in 2013, my kids were 7 and 9, and my husband was a first grade teacher, and we were like gearing up for that cycle of sickness. Like, we're just going to have like a revolving door of sniffles and all the things. So I was like, okay, I'm going to get the Thieves. And then my friend convinced me to buy this kit. It's the premium starter kit. It comes with like 12 oils and a diffuser. And I was like, fine, I'll get it, like whatever. But she highlighted, like, if you diffuse Thieves, it's going to really help the air and clean the air and all that. So, um, started using some of the oils and had success with them for things that like I had gone to do all the holistic remedies for and they didn't really work. And just for FDA compliance reasons, I'm not going to say what they were, but I posted about them on my Facebook, and then all my hypnobirthing moms were like, "What is it? I need it! Like, sign me up." And
Yeah.
at that point, I was just like, "Well, I wasn't planning on doing this as a business, but I guess I'm going to do this as a business." Like the universe just kind of told me, this is what you're going to focus on. So I ended up being able to get to the top rank of that company. I have a team of 40,000 people all over the world. So I took time to focus on that. And now I'm just got recertified to teach hypnobirthing and I'm going to start doing hypnosis for fertility as well. And
Nice.
yeah, so I'm kind of like back to the beginning.
Yeah, that's amazing that you're like, using what you loved and then full circle and you have all the knowledge of the products and you can
Right.
kind of combine that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's incredible. And I didn't even know that you were getting back into the hypnobirthing stuff. So
Yeah.
definitely we'll have to talk to you about that and see how you can help some of my clients that
Yeah.
are in that infertility journey.
Mhm.
Um, and yeah, so what specifically about these products, like obviously you've been with the company for a long time. And by the way, I tried some of them at the event at your home, and they smell so pure. And like we actually rolled them on our bodies. I like to roll oils like on my vagus nerve here, which impacts your gut and your stress and on the inside of my wrist. And then we had that right before the sound bath. So we were already like dropping in and relaxing and grounding. So I loved it. And I think we did try the Thieves oil. I think you might have had that one or a different one, but incredible. So what specifically about them has made you like so in love with the company and the quality of the products?
Yeah. I mean, I totally thought it was a scam and they were just charging a ton of money just because they could. But the more that I did research, the more that I found that like this company cares about ingredients way more than I even care. So at that time, I was like, use organic, fluoride free, like those kinds of things.
Yeah.
But I didn't know that like nobody's regulating what's on the label of essential oils, what's inside, and so they can put 100% pure and natural on all the labels. But when you were there at my event, we did like a
Mhm.
smell test where I had you smell a store-bought lavender and our lavender, and then a
Yep.
competitor's peppermint and our peppermint. And like, if you only smelled the competitor's oil, you'd be like, that's great. That's lavender, that's peppermint. But then once you smell them side by side, like you said, the purity you can smell. And so Young Living ensures that the dirt has no pesticides or chemicals for 50 plus years on all of their farms. They own their own farms or partner with farms that are willing to live up to their standards. So that's better than certified organic standards, because certified organic standards just says 7 years or more. They don't use GMOs. They don't use pesticides. Like their farm in Utah, they found a special breed of sheep. And so they work with farmers in the area, and they bring the sheep there, and the sheep eat the weeds, but not the plants, not the lavender plants,
Wow.
or other plants there. And they do so much research for regenerative sustainable farming that they've been doing for 30 years. Like they've been doing this before it was like a hot word to be like regenerative, sustainable.
Yeah.
And then when they distill their oils, they distill the plant material in medical grade or food grade stainless steel with temperature gauges, and they use low heat, slow steam. So that way it's getting the oil out of the plant without destroying all the goodness of the plant molecules. So when you were able to smell that oil and smell how pure it is, it's because it's like you're actually getting those molecules and it's not getting destroyed. Whereas other companies, if they even distill their own, which most of them don't, they just buy them pre-distilled, they're distilling in aluminum or iron drums. So that aluminum or iron is going to leach into the product. They don't have to say that there's this byproduct in there. And so you really need to know, like, how are these oils being grown? How are they being distilled? And how are they being tested? So Young Living has multi-million-dollar laboratory machinery. I think there's like 20 something tests that they run on every batch of oil during distillation, after bottling, and then any product that they make, like get manufactured, when it comes back, they do testing on all of it again. And so they test for heavy metals, mold, contaminants, bacteria, and they test to make sure that like that lavender has the right constituents levels that they want to be high grade, like high potency and purity. And if it doesn't meet those standards, they won't use it, and they won't even resell it. Wow. So there's an oil called Valor that went out of stock when I first started, and it's great for so many things. It's super grounding and calming, and a couple ingredients went out of stock, and they found one ingredient that would have had like a huge amount. They would have been able to get Valor back in stock, and we call it #ValorGate because people were like outraged that it was gone. And they could have put it back on the shelves, but it was good. It wasn't great quality. And they lost like $40 million that year because they were not willing to compromise. So I've been able to go to several of the farms around the world and see from the seed to the seal. They call it seed to seal guarantee. The process is insane. The amount of care and meticulousness about like making sure that these plants are as clean as possible and processed as clean as possible. They're like 100 times more anal about like all the, like OCD about like all the things that I'm OCD about in terms of like ingredients. And then like, yeah, they're all their personal care products, their home cleaning products. Like for your clientele, these women who are dealing with hormone stuff and gut stuff, we know that the hormones and gut are totally tied together. But like, what are we exposing ourselves to every single day? We are exposed to a ton of environmental toxins every single day that we have no control over. So my goal is to educate people on how to control the controllable things. Like, what are you paying money for and bringing in your home? So laundry detergent, dish soap, all those kinds of things. Like if
all
you
cleaning
think about,
supplies.
Your laundry detergent, you're washing your clothes, your sheets, your towels. If there's fragrance in that, what most people don't know, maybe your following does, but fragrance is a word that has a loophole. The government has protected this word fragrance, and it allows companies to put like up to 1,500 chemicals under that one word, fragrance or
Um,
perfume. And the reason why they're willing to let these companies put those ingredients in there is because that scent is a trademark scent. So like Tide laundry detergent, Chanel No. 5, like if they put all the ingredients of their scent, then someone could replicate Chanel No. 5 or Tide laundry detergent and like make it similar, right?
mm,
So that trademark law allows 1,500 chemicals, and you don't have to know, like they don't have to disclose. And so that's where they put all the toxic hormone disrupting chemicals in there, the parabens, the phthalates, all
wow.
this stuff that wreaks havoc. So any laundry detergent, scent boosters, plug-ins, room fresheners, like all those things, even when they say it's 100% pure, natural, or even they might say using 100%, essential oils. Again, if it's cheap oils, cheaply grown, cheaply distilled, cheaply tested, that's going in your bloodstream. You're
Yep.
breathing it in. Your clothes are like off gassing on you 24/7. You're laying on the sheets while you're sleeping. All of those little things add up
Yeah.
to cause, a lot of hormone havoc, which then leads to so many health issues. So, getting rid of those kinds of things is super important. Getting rid of all the personal care products that you use, getting rid of the cleaning products that you use that might have chemicals in them. And there's also a term that your clients should know. It's called greenwashing.
Yep. I teach that in my
Yeah.
course that my clients have access to. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. So, I mean, Mrs. Myers, seventh generation, like those
I
brands.
was gonna say that was just in my mind. Yeah, seventh generation. And I have a lot of clients that'll come to me and they'll be like, what do you think of this product? Is this okay? And I'm like, let's flip it around, look at the ingredients, and you tell me. So I try
Yeah.
to teach them it's not just the brand or that it says organic or pure. You want to look at the ingredients, and if it says, fragrance, like you said, or natural flavors, that's a big one too.
Mhm.
You always want to do a little bit more digging. And there's resources. There's the EWG, I think, EWG verified website that'll show you the level of toxicity in certain products and things like that. But it's really important to have full trust and faith, and also know who the ownership of the company is, because as you know, a lot of these companies get bought out by bigger companies and then they change the ingredients because it's
Yep.
cheaper, and then it's not the same. So
Right. Yeah. I just saw something about siete tortillas
yep.
that now they're adding flax in there, which
Mm,
more, hormone disrupting. And so it's like we had these clean things, but then they got sold, you know,
yeah.
and now they're adding things that weren't in there before. So yeah, so I just love Young Living because I don't have to think about ingredients. I don't have to worry about the going through and like researching, and even the EWG, it's a great resource, but when it comes to essential oils, it's not able to distinguish
It's
quality, period,
true.
like the background part of
Yeah.
it. So the transparency that Young Living has, like you could go show up at any farm around the world and get like a full tour and see like the whole process. They don't only just like, you can only come during this time and this time.
Yeah.
Like you can just show up at a random time. So yeah, I love all the products. They have things for, infants, babies, to everybody till we're old,
Yeah.
and you
And
know,
you said they're pet friendly as well. That was
yeah,
like one of
yeah,
my concerns.
yeah, yeah. We have two dogs as well. They have they have a committee of holistic vets that they work with. So they have a line of products called Animal Sense. So there's like shampoo and oils specifically for pets, but even just the Thieves household cleaner, you can, make one bottle with just a capful and then
Mhm.
fill with water, and like you can use that and spray it down on everything, and the residue is not going to be harmful for your pets. paws when they lick them, or for babies. Like, I wish I had this when my babies were like teething and putting everything in their mouth. I would have
Mhm.
totally just like misted the thieves cleaner and just left it um, on
That's,
the surfaces. But yeah, there's
yeah,
everything for anybody. And then
that's such
there's
a good tip.
hormone supporting oils. So there's Progessence Plus, which has wild yam root in it. And
Mhm.
then some other essential oils like clary sage and ylang ylang that are known to help support healthy hormone levels.
Yeah, can we pause on that? Because wild yam is a bioidentical hormone to progesterone. And a lot
Right.
of my clients struggle with low progesterone and
Yes.
imbalances with estrogen and progesterone. And so that's an alternative that I often use in my protocols is wild yam. And you want to make sure you use it correctly and that you're not taking too much or too little.
Mhm.
And it really does help to regulate your period on top of doing other things and making sure you're with testing your levels are the right or knowing what to dose with. But
Mhm.
the fact that you have a very high quality oil, this is why I wanted to have this conversation because I am so open to learning other ways of practicing and protocols. And I always gear more towards the natural herbs and things like that. So I think this would be a really cool product. And I want to try it personally and I want to see how it works for me before I recommend it to clients. But either way, like it's not like it's gonna hurt because it's
Right.
all naturally sourced.
Yeah.
And even the thieves oil, that the fact that it's pet friendly, it's safe around children, and like what a great gift for like a new mom or something. I was just thinking because my one of my best friends just had a baby
Yeah.
and she's holistic too,
Mhm.
but there's just not enough out there. Even I mean the baby formula thing,
Oh,
that's
yeah.
a whole nother ball game with like the
Right.
fact that they all have seed oils in them. But um yeah, so for someone that's dealing with they're just struggling with their gut, they're having bloating, they're having irregular periods, things like that. Is there one or two or three like certain products that Young Living has that you'd recommend to start with?
Yeah. Yeah. There's an oil called Digize, Digize, and it's
Okay.
got fennel and a couple other things. And that you just take a drop and rub it on your belly for bloating, indigestion, all those, any kind of digestive support that you need. A drop of that, or even a drop in your mouth, can really
Mhm.
help those kinds of things. They came out with a product called Whole Body Cleanse. It's a powder and it's got soluble fiber and really good things inside of it. And it tastes good. It's like not super sweet. It's like actually barely sweet. And they use like all the healthy kind of ingredients. It's sold out 10 months worth of supply in 1 month. So it's
Oh
due to
my
come
god.
back later this month, August. And that, along with another supplement called Liver Tone,
Mhm.
those two things combined, Liver Tone is going to help keep your liver to detox, like support healthy detoxing. And then the Whole Body Cleanse is going to help flush out whatever your body needs to get flushed out that your liver is getting rid of. But it's
Mm.
been pretty phenomenal in terms of helping people's just body detox better and
Yeah.
get that kind of jump started. And then there's a hormone product that they just released, and that one also sold out. It's coming back this month. I'm super excited about it. It's called Daily Hormone Essentials, and it's a
Ooh.
liquid packet, and it's got a bunch of Korean herbs and oils in there. And the herb blend that's in there has like 6 double blind placebo controlled studies that show that it helps with PMS, perimenopause, menopausal symptoms. So there's
Wow.
been some people that did like a 30-day study, people with irregular cycles, they're regular now. People that like lost their libido because they're going through perimenopause, bloating. So brain fog, the anxiety that comes along with PMS, perimenopause, menopause, hot flashes, night sweats, pain that is associated with PMS and with perimenopause. Like it targets all of that. And so there's been some really amazing testimonials about that. So that's
Mhm.
coming back later this month. But I think the daily hormone essentials plus the progestins plus to give you some of that progesterone. The daily hormone essentials it's only plant-based. There's no
Okay.
phytoestrogens in there. There's no hormones, nothing. So it's just herbs and essential oils that help kind of regulate your hormonal system. And then for digestion, the Digest oil, liver tone, and whole body cleanse.
And are these all like liquid supplements or like oils, or are they in capsules?
So the liver tone is a capsule. The whole body cleanse is a powder, and you just do 1 scoop in a glass of water. The Digest is an oil blend. So you just take 1 drop and you can put that on your belly or put 1 drop in your mouth. Progestins Plus is an oil blend. So Young Living has these roller tops that you can get. So I put a roller top on, and every night I alternate on the inside of my left arm one night and the inside of my right arm, inside of the thighs, and just rotate through those locations. So that's an oil blend. And the Daily Hormone Essentials is a liquid packet. So it's sweetened with like Reb M and monk fruit.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
It's got like a really strong, like herby, planty flavor. So they put like vanilla and the Reb M and the monk fruit to make it more palatable.
Cool. Yeah, I know some of the supplements that I recommend to clients who are like, oh God, how do you take this? I'm like, you just pray.
Right. Just chug.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some people like, it's so funny because some people are like, oh, I love this supplement, like I actually like the taste of it. And others are like, oh my God, I need help. Like maybe another option because I can't do this one.
Right.
So I'm sure there's certain herbs that resonate and oils that resonate with people too, based on the smell. Like I'm sure not everyone likes the same smell.
Right.
So yeah, that makes sense. And as far as like if like I'm definitely gonna order some stuff. I want to try this stuff too.
Yeah.
How does one do that?
Well, they can either order through me or through you. Once you try them and if you love them, then you can become a brand partner and you can share your link with your patients and clients. But otherwise, they can find me. And there's also a holistic health plan that Young Living started, which is amazing. So Young Living partnered with a traditional health insurance like vendor company that's been around since 1990 or something like that. And they offer a health share, which would be for medical emergency catastrophe coverage. And then they offer 2 different holistic plans. So these are like groundbreaking, amazing insurance alternatives. So they're not insurance, but they work just like them. So the health share part of it, if your audience isn't familiar, health share is a community of people that pool their money together, and then that community pays for everybody else's medical expenses. This is a nonprofit, so they're not pocketing like tons of money for the corporate staff. And so they pay out, millions of dollars for surgeries, brain cancer, like all those kinds of things. So people can sign up just for the health share and get $0 telemedicine 24/7 with a doctor or nurse practitioner, and $0 virtual mental health sessions. It also covers home births and birth center births, which is unheard of. Most insurance companies do not cover those things. And if you do have an emergency or some situation, you have something called an annual max, which works like a deductible. So they have a $1,000, $2,500, and then $5,000 annual max. So if you ended up going to the hospital, you would show your card, the hospital would bill the health plan, and then you would be billed your annual max or deductible. The holistic plans are super cool. So I was able to help create these and just love what we've created. There's nothing out there like it. So there's holistic savings, and then there's the holistic plan. So the holistic savings, you get 3 doctor appointments with both the holistic and the health share. There's no network, so you can see whoever you want, whenever you want. But with the holistic plan, those 3 doctor visits also includes naturopaths. And so you can go see your doctor if you wanted to go see a specialist, get a skin cancer check, or, go see your OBGYN, whatever. You'd pay them, you'd get your receipt, you submit your receipt, and then within 30 to 45 days, you get up to $150 back in cash via direct deposit. So that's
Crazy.
huge. But then the better part of it is the holistic savings plan gives you 12 chiropractor or acupuncture
It's
sessions.
the best part.
Yeah. And then you can add on services, whatever is in that chiropractic or acupuncture center. They have massage or facials or soft wave, shockwave treatment or whatever, Reiki. You can add those services on as long as it's the same day, and submit your receipt after you pay your chiropractor or acupuncturist, and then you get up to $175 back for each of those visits. And then you get $50 to $75 worth of Young Living essential oils or supplements reimbursed every single month. So you can actually make money with these plans if you actually do all the things. And then the holistic plan is the one that I'm on, our family's on. So you get 5 of those doctor visits where you're going to get 150 back. You get 24 chiropractor or acupuncture visits per person per year. So I go see my chiropractor and I get a facial or a massage, or I get soft wave, which is like a stem cell building thing. I go to my acupuncturist and I get Reiki or sound bowl healing, or she does a nutritional consult where she does like muscle testing for my Young Living supplements. And then you get 1 IV drip per month where you pay the IV place and you get up to $100 back every single month. That $50 to $75 worth of Young Living oils or supplements, and a thermography or a mammogram. Mm-hmm. Where you pay the first $150 and you get the rest reimbursed.
That's crazy.
So yeah, this company is amazing, and they totally see the value of people like us that want to be proactive about our health, that are paying a ton of money out of pocket. Like, I honestly would not be doing all these things if I wasn't getting reimbursed, but knowing I'm going to get reimbursed within 45 days means like I'm doing all the things. But they see the value of people that do these proactive things. We tend not to go to the doctor for every little thing. We're not, jumping to take every single medication potentially we could ever take. And long term, we're going to be healthier, which means less chronic disease and illness and more of those expensive long-term kinds of things. So
right.
The company is willing to invest in us now and reward us for those kinds of things to ensure that like later on we're going to be healthier.
Yeah, that was like, because as you're saying all this stuff, because we already talked about this prior, and I was like, okay, this sounds kind of too good to be true. But then when you explain that perspective of like, okay, so instead of these healthcare companies having to pay out hundreds of thousands of dollars potentially for surgeries and cancer treatments and all these things, they're spending more money now on this holistic stuff, but then you're not going to have these crazy bills in the future. Exactly. So it's actually genius. And I think this is going to be the next wave of healthcare for a lot of people. And, I think this is a great option for my clients too, like to have, because a lot of my clients, they don't even want to go to the doctor. Like, even if they're sick, they're like, I'm not going. I don't trust them. And like, I don't blame you. Yeah. So it's like, you have that support if you need it, but at the same time, like, you have access to all these different types of practitioners that actually know how to help you in a preventable way. Acupuncture, that's incredible. I preferably go to acupuncture like once a month at least, especially if you're having hormone imbalances or pain or anxiety, gut issues. Like, it's incredible. Chiropractic care as well with the structural things. So it's just like invaluable. And so when you told me about that, I immediately like looked into it and I was like, this is actually amazing. And I think you said it saved you like hundreds of dollars for your family, too, right?
Oh my gosh, we were paying for a PPO because we thought like, if we ever have an issue, we want to be able to pick whoever we want since we are more holistic. And that's just a lie. Like, we wouldn't have been able to pick whoever we wanted because that would have been out of network, even if it was a PPO. But we are paying $2,300 a month. We had a almost $7,000 deductible per person.
Oh my gosh.
And we never went. Like, we never went to the doctor because we do all the holistic things first. And then I just looked up what it would cost if we were still on that plan. It would be $3,200 a month.
Oh my gosh.
It's like a house payment for a really nice house, right?
Yeah.
We're paying $940 for our family of 4, and that includes the health coverage part of it, plus the holistic plan part of it, where we get those 24 sessions. Even with the holistic plan, if you just wanted to get just that, like if you had your own insurance because you get it through your work for free, you could add on the holistic or holistic savings plan. And that $0 telemedicine comes with that plan. So if you don't like to go to the doctor, but like maybe you have an issue that you just like, or like, I kind of want to talk to someone to see, like, do I need to go? Like, they're available 24/7, and you can just call them up and you get a nurse practitioner or a doctor on the phone, video call, and you can
the demands.
Yeah. So
again, people love that accessibility and quick. You don't have to wait. So I think that's amazing, and I'm excited to see it grow and everything expand from there.
Yeah.
And we'll share information if anyone's interested. I was just telling Carol before the call, I mentioned it at my friend's birthday dinner, and one of them texted me this morning and was like, hey, can you send me the information on that healthcare plan? I'm like, I didn't know I was an ambassador for this, but sure.
You are now.
That's how it works. When I find something that makes sense to me, then why not share it? So
yeah, I'm like that too.
Yeah, well, I think we covered a lot today, and there's like, I can't wait. I'm actually going to go on the Young Living website like right after this, because you guys, like, the herbs and the oils, when I put them on, I was like, oh my God, I feel so good. Like, you just feel so grounded. And I think it's a really cool, obviously for cleaning products and replacing things like that, but also like before meditation or just like as a ritual. So I think it's going to be a cool addition, because I have like a couple oils here and there that I found like on my travels, but I'm sure they're not like the best quality. So I'm curious like what it's actually going to feel like or do for my body on that level. So I will report back on my Instagram probably with like which ones I like the best, but we'll share information on how you guys can like shop around and just see if there's anything that you want to try.
Yeah, and I'm always available for questions and guidance. There's over 200 something oils and over 800 products, so there's something for everyone. But I love having oils at the ready, because as women, we just have that like low level, moderate level of cortisol, stress hormone, like all the time, right? And in order for us to be super healthy, we need our cortisol level to be as low as possible for fertility, for gut health, for all the things. And so to be able to just smell an oil or apply it or have it in the diffuser and know like, this is helping my nervous system stay where it needs to be in a healthy range. Like, that's such a huge gift. And just to be able to like grab an oil and just huff it or whatever, right? Like, I have oils in my purse. They're everywhere in my house, so that like no matter where I am, I have no excuse. I can grab something.
Yeah. Or like I like to have them when I'm traveling. Like I'll put them on before like a flight or something, or like I said, meditation. So I think it's just another tool in your toolkit. And obviously, like, it's not just one specific thing that's going to be the game changer. It's the whole pillar, but to have access to things like this, I think is really cool. So I'll have to check out one of those farms and see, because that sounds right up my alley.
Yeah.
Awesome. And is there anything else you want to share, or how can my audience find you?
They can find me on my Instagram, which is A Well Lived Life. So AWELL, and then lived with a D, life, or through my name, Carol Yeh-Garner.
Perfect. And I'll put that in the show notes and everything below. But thank you so much for your time and for being here. And I'm super excited to try out the products myself even more.
Yeah, thanks for having me.